Good evening, all, and welcome to the Tactical Devils. Sorry for running late. I've been super busy today, and Stu has been the same. We just met in the studio 10 minutes ago. But we have a show for you guys. It will be a great show. We will talk about the latest. There's been some updates on Garnacho. There's some updates on Dele. There's even some updates on the guy we don't want to talk about anymore. That's Gyökeres, but we have to just mention it. Alvaro Carreras. Real Madrid, here we go. Osimhen updates, new shirt numbers for the players. Lot to talk about. Guys, girls, remember to smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and we will be back after the intro. Good evening, all, and welcome to the Tactical Devils. I see a lot of people have tuned in already. Sorry, we are a little bit late, 24 minutes later than usual, but don't despair. We have a show for you guys and girls. Good to see you. How are you, Stu, my good old friend?
Like you, pal, absolutely rammed today, but not long been home like yourself, but good, all good. It's hot. I'm like everyone else in the UK at the minute. We're bothered. We don't like all this hot weather. Well, we do, but we like it for about an hour or two, and that's it. So played footy last night. I was woeful again. That's 2 bad games. I'm not playing well at the minute. Don't know what's wrong with me. Need to sort myself out.
Too much YouTubing, too much sitting on your ass.
I know. I'll be getting dropped at this rate. Yeah, so I've got to put more effort in. Yeah, absolutely. But no, apart from that, you're all good. All good. What about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. Been busy all day. Been working. I've been doing some construction work with my dad, actually. Yeah. A lot of things, going on. Big machineries, wheel loaders.
Is that at the office premises or?
No, it's private.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Lovely. Yeah. Nice.
So I moved a small shed today, like 3 meters by 3 meters.
Nice.
Lifted it up, put it on a trailer, brought it like, 5 miles. And then I'm installing it with my house now. So it's quite a massive thing, driving it on the road. It was like, whoop, 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 whoop. But everything went well. So I can't complain. Yes. I just want to say hi to everybody tuning in. A lot of people here. I see we have let's just scroll to the top. Boxing Straight Talk coming in early. Evening all, everyone. Catherine McDade coming in and say these owners are a disgrace to football and our club. Stuart Jarvis. Yes, you are right, Catherine.
Yes.
Nonsense McDade. I am Titanium coming in early. Big up, guys. Who else do we have here? We have, let me just scroll a little bit. Yale Malmin is here. Garnacho is not cleared. Fake story. Well, not according to Center Devils. Posted under 30 minutes ago, but you might be right. There's a lot of fake stories going on in this transfer window, so I wouldn't be surprised. Danny B coming in. Big up, Danny boy. Good to see you. Hit that like button on the way in. Yes. And Vincent Bullock is here. Dallo has a new shirt number. He'll be wearing the number 2 instead of 20. We have planned talking about the new shirt numbers too.
We do.
5 new players with new shirt numbers.
Yes.
Yeah. What shirt number do you play with?
Oh, there's only one shirt number to play with. That's number 8. It's the greatest number on the planet. In fact, when we're choosing shirt numbers, squad numbers at the beginning of the season, if I don't get 8, then I would kick up a fuss and refuse to play. That's
you're a prima donna.
That's how pathetic.
Prima donna.
Yeah, pathetic, isn't it? It's pathetic. But yeah,
if I was coach Spanish, I would just kicked you out of there.
I would have gone under you if you were skip or coach. I would have been finished years ago. I'd have hung up the boots. The pegs would have been hung up years ago. So,
but why number 8?
It's my favourite number, and I wore it when I was a junior jack. Way back when I was 8 years old, I was allocated shirt number 8 at that particular time, and I embarrassed myself on my first game actually because I was playing central midfield, and they got a corner in, and I was marking the far post for some reason rather than the fullback. I was doing it, and so they popped a header in, and my dad was watching, and my mum. And the goalkeeper missed it, and I went down and I saved it on the line like an absolute tit. And yes, so that was my first start into playing football, which, by the way, at the time was 11-a-side. I might add. Yeah, and I embarrassed myself ever since. So there you go. And I can't stop playing. But my mum and dad were like, I looked over, and mum and dad were like, going, "Oh my god, he's not ours. He's nothing to do with us."
It's not ours.
Yeah, terrible kit though, because it was like the Norwich kit. It was yellow top with green shorts and yellow socks with green tops. But we were junior jacks at the time, and yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. And yeah, I've done it ever since. I've probably been as bad ever since as well throughout my playing days.
We all have. You know, you have your ups and downs, but luckily when you get older, you only remember the good times when you were the best at your team doing everything
yeah,
right.
Absolutely. And Johnny K has got a point here. They must retire the number 8 shirt, Johnny. If I retire, the number 8 shirt's got to be retired as well, like completely. Catherine, no nonsense, McDade, straight in. Who gives a shit about kit numbers? I love it. Absolutely brilliant. I've been linked to United apparently. Should retire you, Catherine? To be fair, you're probably not. You're not too far off the pace. But I'm going to go. I've decided. I'm going to go to the big 60 if I can. If I can, I'm going to try and play to the big 60. Whether I can do that or not, I don't know. But believe it or not, there is at our level, there is a England over 60s or 60s and over team. But the best part of that is if you ever remember the Carlsberg beer adverts in the UK, if Carlsberg did so and so.
Yes.
Anyway, they did one with
the best private side.
Yeah, they did one with the England lads. And anyway, that particular kit they were wearing, the 66 kit, is the type of kit that the England over 60s wear, which is really cool. So there is an England over 50s and over 55s as well. And we play, it's home internationals actually in September. So it's England, Wales, Scotland and Ireland.
Nice.
It all goes on. It does all go on. If you're in that kind of area, it all does go on. So it's all good fun.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yes.
I just want to say hi to everybody tuning in. Mr. B coming in. Evening all. Carlos is here. Evening lads. Stephanie Griffith was in the house. Big up to see. Good to see you, Stephanie. Jordan Wall commenting from X. A lot of people watching us on X at the same time, and you're allowed to comment on X also. So if you're watching us on X, leave a comment. And give us your thoughts. Vincent Bullock is here. Who else? Thomas Svedjanos coming in directly from Sweden. Good to see you, Thomas. Boxing Straight Talk. Who else? Johnny Commode. I mentioned him. Grace Sheridan is here. Why hasn't Dallo been made captain? He's the best player in the world. Wow, I can sense there's some sarcasm in that.
There's a sarcasm in there. I can sense a little bit of sarcasm from Grace. Lovely to have you, Grace.
Good to see.
No nonsense, McDade. I won't make 60. Look at that. Ye have little faith, Catherine. Ye have little faith. Although my last 2 performances, to be fair, have been absolutely woeful, and I'm not kidding. It's been really, really poor. So we've got a weekend off, and I'm quite glad there's a weekend off. So I can do a bit of training by myself and try and get my act together, because it's been woeful at best.
Yes. Grace Sheridan coming in and say it's not sarcasm. He's my favorite player, by the way.
Well, Grace,
Fair enough.
yeah, good enough for me. That is good enough for me.
Carlos coming in with something. He said, "I said in April we wouldn't be able to sell any players."
I think he did on this channel.
Yes, you did. You did. I think we are at that stage. But let's get into it, Stu.
Yes.
There's been some updates tonight, and this came out from Center Devils. Some of the devilish tacticals are claiming it's fake news. But I'm not saying it's not, but I'm just reporting the weather. And let's do it like this.
Yes.
So just in, Alejandro Garnacho has been cleared to join his Manchester United teammates at Carrington. And the record, the statement from the club was 5 players were not welcome in the first game day, I would say, because we want to sell them. They said, I think the club said that you have to focus on finding a new employer, basically.
Yes.
But now Garnacho is cleared to come back in training. How do you see it? Is it a tactical choice from Man United just to set this price target and not bulge?
Garnacho, Rashford, biggest conundrum. Sancho, huge conundrums for the club yet again. Yet again, you see Juventus negotiating a termination contract with Vlahovic on 300 grand a week. We've seen it with Tomiyasu and we've seen it with Arsenal. Arsenal have done it before with a variety of different players, Thomas Partey as well. It's something we should be doing. But the biggest problem we've got, it's a twofold issue, unfortunately. And the first one is, I think you're right, is that when people realise that you're fighting, arguing, falling out with your club, it becomes you want to get rid of him, so we're just going to hold on until you're desperate to get rid of him, and we'll just lowball you. There's the other school of thought is, well, he's a usable asset, whether we want him at the club or not, as fans or as the coach, or the hierarchy. He's a usable asset, and if he has a 6-month storming season, then the fans, we might look at it and think, you know what, right move. If he has a really poor 6 months, or he doesn't play within that 6 months, then his valuation's just going to drop and drop and drop. But the really interesting thing about all of this Garnacho stuff was the Napoli's president, if his comments are to be believed, that they're not necessarily interested in him as a footballer currently, but they feel they can develop him to twice the player than what he is, because he's looked and he's seen what's happened at Scotland.
Resale value.
Yeah, and he's looked and he's seen, at what's happened with other players. Like, I know you want to bring on Alvaro Fernández or Caceres, whichever he goes by.
Yeah, we need to talk. We will address that next. Yeah,
not good enough for us, but deemed more than good enough for Real Madrid, and that's his point that he's making. Manchester United release him or sell him. He goes to Benfica, has an absolutely brilliant season, and now he's got himself to Real Madrid. Manchester United sell McTominay to Napoli. He's the MVP, player of the season in Italy, and the title winner. And this is where he's coming from a Napoli point of view. So I think what we've got to look at is from a focus point of view, from a club point of view. I don't want him anywhere near the club. I think he should go, but we can't sell players. We've proven this. We can't sell players. We're proven that we can't do it. We can't buy players either, by the way, but we can't sell players. We are a basket case of a club. And if we do allow this in, then you've got to utilise him. There's no point having him back in if this is to be the case. I don't believe it, by the way. I think once Amorim turns the page with you, I think the page is turned. I think it's glued down. I don't think you're coming back from it. So I agree with Yalam Amin. I agree with everyone else in the devilish tacticos in the chat. I agree with them wholeheartedly. We don't need him. We don't want him. We don't need a spoiled brat. But the conundrum is very, very simple for Manchester United. If you want to get top dollar for him, you've got to do something with it. You either negotiate the deal before we go to America, which is next week, I believe, under next week. I think we'll go to America. Same with Rashford, or you utilize them. I've said before, and I'll say it again. If I was United, I'd drag them to the States. Fuck it. And I would play them in every game, and I would put them in every press conference, in every opportunity I got.
You'll make him captain.
I would make him captain. Yeah, I would put them front and center and let them answer the questions. You answer the questions that I've been getting. What are you doing with Rashford? What are you doing with Garnacho? What are you doing with Malacia? What are you doing with I can't remember the 5 players now. Whoever. And that to me is the essence of getting shite out your football club. But we're not strong enough. I've said before, we're not mentally strong enough on the pitch, and we're definitely not mentally strong enough off it to allow these players to come and go. There's so much conjecture about what's happening with Sancho at the moment. Juventus are nowhere near putting a deal in, or yes, they are. Nobody seems to know what's going on with Sancho. It's just a joke of a club. It's a joke of a situation. Now, I don't want to get into the Forest Tottenham deal at this point in time for Gibbs White, because that's a completely different kettle of fish. He's got a release clause of money.
Not only Gibbs White, by the way, they just signed Kudos.
Yeah, but they've gone and they've done Gibbs White easy. It's an easy deal to do. You lodge the money, you pay it up, and away you go. It's easy.
Same with Cunha.
That's why. But Mbuemo, like I said to you a couple of days ago, Jarvis, he's never been in this situation before. Brentford haven't been in this situation before. If we were smart, by the way, which we're not, you'd be negotiating a double deal for Wissa and Bremer and Mbuemo. That's what you'd be doing. If you're smart, that's what smart money would do. But we're not that smart.
Apparently, Spurs are looking at Bissau right now and trying to negotiate the deal. And we just got the here we go 2 minutes ago. Kudos, here we go, Spurs and Gibbs White. So Spurs are doing bits in this transfer window as we speak.
So if Wissa goes before Mbuemo, then Mbuemo probably won't happen. Unless you can do a double dip deal for both players. I can't see Wissa going to Tottenham and Mbuemo coming to us. I just can't see that happening. I think something will have to give on that particular one. So it's the biggest conundrum for me this summer, but we brought it on ourselves, Jarvis. The club have completely brought it on themselves.
100%.
We're not strong enough. We're allowing Rashford back in and training. He's training away from the group. Garnacho should be training away from the group. Sancho shouldn't have been allowed through the fucking door at all. Anthony's still in Brazil. I think out of all the players, Anthony is probably one that's tried to do it the right way. He's away in Brazil. He went to Betis. He's not badmouth the club that I've seen. He may well have done, but not that I've seen. And Betis are trying to lowball us. So, it's a real problem, real problem where we are right now, and we've got to do something with these. So if Napoli are sticking 45 million on the table for Garnacho, do you just take the deal? Irrespective of what you think he's worth, you take the deal. And if you can only get 20 million for Rashford, you take the deal. You just take the money now. You can't afford to piss about any longer. But of course, what's our famous club done? Oh, fuck, what are we going to do? There's no Mbuemo deal. So we'll come out with a stadium again. We'll come out with we're going to host the Women's World Cup in 10 years' time. What's that got to do with current? Unless they've given Amorim some absolute cast iron guarantees with what's happening, then I really do think that we could be in a world of trouble. I still think we'll beat Arsenal first game of the season. I really do. But moving on from there, my 66-point target might be difficult because I love Cunha, and Cunha will come and he will make a big difference. But Cunha and Mbeumo would make a massive difference, a huge difference. And if you did get a striker in, whoever that may be, who's going to guarantee us 16 to 20 goals a season, that's a striker. Plus Mbeumo's probably going to get you 15. 8 from Cunha, 11 from Bruno. That is a massive improvement to where we have been, previously. So I'm worried at this point in time. There are teams out there that aren't dicking about. If you see Chelsea's squad, Chelsea have got 6 strikers now currently signed. And if you're Liam Delap, you must be wondering what the F is going on. Because after João Pedro's performance, Liam Delap ain't going to see the first team, is he?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Let's be honest. If Liam Delap doesn't start up front on Sunday, then Pedro's your number 1 against PSG. Pedro's your number 1.
That's the thing. But Pedro, he can play on the left, he can play on the right, he can play in the 10, he can play in the 9. He's very versatile.
Yeah, he's a very versatile player. So for me, it's really important that we start to do business now. We don't cock about anymore, and we start to do.
But the thing is, we've been saying this now, Stu, for 2 weeks.
I know.
3 weeks. Nothing is happening. It's like a nightmare. It's like a dream. You're trying to run, but you stand still. It's all just because of the cupboard is on your feet. You can't move. It's like a nightmare. Bad effing dream.
But there are clubs out there. There are clubs out there that make the moves, aren't they? They make the moves. They say, right, absolutely. At the View tonight, so is me. It's ridiculous what's going on here. It's so hot, by the way. Anyway, we've got to do something. This club has got to be serious. You want to spend $2 billion on a 100 mil stadium, Jarvis? You have got to be, when that stadium is built, you have got to be in a position where you're going to fill 100,000 people.
Yeah, we won't fill it if we are in the championship.
Not at this rate. Not at
we
this
head
rate.
into the championship. We're not signing any players. We are laying our trust into players that has let us down 100 times.
So, devil's advocate, going back to what I was saying before, you either take Napoli's deal at 45 mil, you take it, you try and book some add-ons on, or you bang a massive sell-on clause in it. Okay, but you take that business, or you play them. What choice do you have? If you aren't getting Mbeumo in, you're not getting a striker in. What choice do you have as a club? I don't agree with what I've just said, by the way, guys. So don't jump on me on that, because I don't agree with what I just said. But I'm talking about options. What are the options?
History buff comes in and reports say United isn't going for a striker this window.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel the same. But why did we go for Delap and then Gyökeres? I'm 100% sure that we made inquiries. We tested the water, but we couldn't make it happen.
Oh, Jarvis, you know what's going to happen now over the next few days? The longer Arsenal dick about with Gyökeres, the more he's going to be linked to us again. Oh, United.
I don't want him. Yeah, 100%. I know, but I don't want him.
No, I think you're right.
Look, we're done with Gyökeres.
Right. I know you want to talk about Osimhen, but you can't tell me. Nobody can tell me. Nobody that Galatasaray are going to pay Osimhen 400 grand a week. Not happening. It just isn't happening. They may have upped the bid to 65, but they ain't going to be paying him 400 grand a week. Surely, if they are, where the hell are they getting that money from?
Yeah, but it's after tax. That's the same. He wants the same after tax.
Yeah, I know.
Tax is much lower, so it's not 400 for Galatasaray. It's less.
I think the taxation is completely different, isn't it? I get that.
It is.
But even so, Galatasaray can't afford that money. Surely the Turkish league doesn't generate that. In terms of popularity. Or anything like that. So I'm really confused by the Osimhen deal.
Same.
And it does confuse me, that, Jarvis. It really does. So again, are we too bothered about? No. So it comes back then, by the way, and I know everyone's going to jump on me here, by the way, but it comes back to these free transfers. I'm not talking about Vlahovic in particular. I'm not talking about Vardy. I'm not talking about Dominic Calvert-Lewin or Callum Wilson. But there are free transfers out there that, you can imagine. We bring in Jamie Vardy, for example. 20 minutes left against Liverpool. Vardy's going to smash Van Dijk to pieces, isn't he? Nobody else is. Højlund isn't going to do it.
No.
Vardy's going to chase Wirtz all around, and he's going to kick the fuck out of him.
Yeah, but if that's the aim, we might as well just bring in Troy Deeney. If you just want someone to be on top to smash them in, that's
no. But this is it. You see, this is it. You don't want Vardy. You wouldn't have Vardy at your club now, but 5 years ago you would have. Anybody would have. When he was at Leicester in his pomp, anyone would have taken. He should have gone to 100%. Arsenal. Yeah. He should have gone to Arsenal. Everyone knows that, and he knows it. Callum Wilson's never really. He's too injury prone. Callum Wilson, Vlahovic too injury prone. Dominic Calvert-Lewin too injury prone. Vardy, absolutely injury prone and can only probably run for 5 minutes. You're absolutely right. But those 5 minutes could make a huge difference in a neck and neck game of football. And this is sometimes where you have to think about where you are in terms of your squad building. What kind of personality? I know his missus is an absolute, right, you'd strangle her, wouldn't you? What kind of personality you bring in? And I'll tell you what, you're bringing in a winner.
Yeah.
You're bringing in a Premier League winner, a Golden Boot winner.
A fighter.
Hasn't he? He holds the record. He holds the record, a Premier League record for 11 goals or 11 games in a row in scoring, doesn't he? Something like that. You have
11 goals in 11 games.
We don't want Jamie Vardy. None of us do. The devilish tacticos don't. I don't. You don't. But you might just have to grab him. You might have to grab him to bolster your squad. I don't know where we are. So, where are we shopping now? What are we doing? Are we not looking at the likes of any of these free transfers because it doesn't fit Manchester United? Well, my question is, where are we right now? Because we're not shopping at the top table anymore.
We're not.
If Victor Osimhen, for argument's sake, everybody would choose Galatasaray over Manchester United, that should tell you a hell of a lot about where our club is seen.
Yes.
Actually, Danny, you're right, buddy. Retirement Home FC. Yeah, we've been that way for a long, long time. We've been that way for a long, long time, haven't we, getting in players? But look, Henrik Larsson couldn't run for toffee, Jarvis, when he turned up for Manchester United. How many goals did he score?
Maybe 8 or 7
in a 6 month period. 8 to 10 in a 6 month period. But what did he bring? He brought common sense and guile and nice, but he couldn't run. I'm not saying Jamie Vardy isn't any kind of answer to us, because he isn't.
No.
But you've got to ask yourself the question we all have as fans right now: where are we? And as Neil says, Neil Davis, we're a laughing stock. He's absolutely correct. Danny, I didn't know if we're in for Osimhen, to be honest, buddy. I was just making a point that why would Osimhen choose? I guess is what I was saying. But
I'm just going through while you're talking. I'm listening. But I'm just going through we have 5 new players with new shirt numbers. I'm just getting them down, but there's not much to talk about when it comes to that. Stella,
while you're doing that, I've just got to take this call. It'll be 1 sec.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I will talk to people in the chat. We have Mark and Big Up Mark. Good to see you. Who else? We have how many likes are we on right now? 226 people watching, 53 on YouTube, 172 watching on X at the moment. And Jordan Wall is leaving comment after comment and saying Dalot is number 2. We also have Shay Lacey. Had 72 last season, and this season he will be the iconic number 61. I don't know if that's something to talk about. And Matato is going from 85 to number 70.
Sorry,
so, yeah.
What I do, I get people to phone me when we're on live, so it looks like I've got friends.
How much do you pay them? $100?
Well, I pay a lot of money. Otherwise, we wouldn't do it. Sorry. What were the numbers, Paul? What were the numbers?
Dallo 20 to number 2. Shea Lacey 72. Now he's 61.
Ooh.
Matato coming in 85 last season. He's going up to 70. So or down to 70.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Big moves.
Yeah, that's shocking news. Reese Monroe is going from 79 to 65, and wow, who else? Yeah, it's obviously Marcus Rashford losing his number 10, and Cunha is the new number 10. Marcus Rashford still no number.
I was about to ask you that. No number issued. Well,
maybe our club wants to sell him.
That's the rumor. It's a vicious rumor, but that is the rumor.
Yeah. Let's go to the breaking news, the one about Alvaro Fernández. Carreras, that's what he goes by nowadays. This is the news. Exclusive Alvaro Carreras to Real Madrid. And they say, here we go, verbal agreement in place between Real and Benfica. Real negotiated to pay 50 million euros in multiple installments instead of one payment clause. And as soon as Man United confirm they don't activate the buyback clause, Alvaro will travel.
Good luck to the kid, Jarvis. Good luck to that. He's deemed surplus to requirements under Eric, and he's been watching us, hasn't he? He's got our salutes. He's not quite got it, but he's there. I'll give him a bit of a.
He's never in the Marines. Never in the Marines.
He was never. Well, neither was I.
You never showed your palm of your hand. You just like this.
I never like to say that was in the SAS parts because you're not supposed to. You're supposed to, keep your facade. Anyway, all fairness to him, we apparently couldn't see what Real Madrid can see in him, but this is exactly what the Napoli president was talking about. You sell him to Benfica, he materializes into the player that everybody thought he would be, and now he gets a move to Real Madrid. For him, that's a dream. It's got to be a dream.
But we all knew that he was a really good fucking football player. Why did Ten Hag let him go?
We did.
And we played without a left back for a season and a half.
We did.
And we had Alvaro Carreras and we gave him away to Benfica. What's wrong with Man United?
What did he go for? 8 mil? Less than that?
Peanuts.
Yeah.
Peanuts. So yeah, I'm getting frustrated by the club. We all knew that he was a great player. You don't have to be like super footballing smart just to see that guy. You saw him, his technique, his balance, his stride when he was on the ball. He had footballing brains at a young age.
Yeah, brilliant.
Imagine him in 5 years after playing for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
How much will he be worth?
Wonder what money we get for that. How much will he worth? 80 million. He'll be one of the best left backs in the world.
Yeah.
That's okay. What anyone says, he'll be one of the best left backs. And you don't go to Madrid for £50 million if you don't know what you're doing. And by the way, Xabi Alonso knows a thing or two about how to play, as we all know. He's had a really
on the left side.
I mean, it was really interesting. I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you saw Enrique's post-match press conference last night. Anyone? And he spoke not about how Manchester United. Oh, thank you. Not how PSG beat Real Madrid, but how he's into a 2-year project, and that Alonso's just coming into it. And he says already you can see the shape that Real Madrid are going to be playing. And they got battered last night, didn't they, by PSG? I feel sorry for Chelsea because Chelsea are going to get a right spanking. I mean, they beat PSG 3-0. They've turned over Bayern Munich 5-0. Yeah, recently they are probably one of the most exciting teams that we've seen for a long time, Jarvis.
it's a force to be reckoned with, and
Yeah.
to be honest, if you look at their budget for salaries, 650
But they
million
stopped, didn't
euros.
they? They built the
Manchester
club.
City in second place,
Yeah.
550.
But they built the club, didn't they, Jarvis, on Galacticos? Stripped them back, and now they've got the workman-like players, the Carrot Scaly of this world, the
It's
Vitinis
still
of this world.
Kvaratskhelia, you know.
Carrot Scaly.
He's
I'd
not
rather
a
take
cheap
tomorrow.
player.
Can we have him, please?
I agree.
I love Carrot Scaly. He's just absolutely brilliant. But you know, ultimately, clubs are doing it better. PSG realised to stop doing what they were doing. But when they did it, Jarvis, it's only taken them 2 years to be probably world champions, European champions, French champions.
They will win everything the next 5 years.
Yeah, we all knew Luis Enrique was no mug, didn't we, at Barcelona?
We knew.
We all knew he was no mug, and look what he's done now. It's massively impressive.
I don't want to let go the Alvaro Carreras thing. There's two things we got to talk about.
Yeah, do we know?
20%.
20%. Okay.
Yeah.
So
we sold him for what, about 8?
Yeah, possibly.
So it will be 20% of 42 then.
Yeah. So you're looking at 8.4.
Yeah. So 8 millions.
Let's say
euros,
8 million.
Euros.
8 million. And we're going to get what, 8 million for
Elanga?
Elanga, potentially.
Yeah. And there's another player we will get money for.
Yeah. Olalady, or how you pronounce it?
Maxi.
But it's only $1 million, so it's about $1 million.
Well, you know, it's still money.
Yeah, it's about $1 million.
Devils comes in, it's W Lodar 85 coming in and say Maxi Oyedele is one step away from joining Strasbourg. The French club are expected to pay his 6 million release clause. Nearly half of that sum will go to Man United. So it's another 3 million euros.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that, which is good for us. So, you know, maybe another 20 million to chuck in, depending on, you know, things like that. By the way, Mark Nurse is in the house. Good to see you, Mark.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
I said hi to him.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while, but good to see you, pal. Yeah, good luck to him. You know, 6 million. He's a young kid. We sold him for no more than $1 million, did we? Let's be honest.
He's brilliant.
Yeah, he's a very
Alvaro Fares, I could see right away after one friendly.
I know.
He's a baller. He knows how to play the game. He understands the game.
Yeah.
Again,
and you know, 6 million euros. And we'll see where he is. He will follow the same pattern as Caceres. Promise you. Yeah. Very good footballer. Very good footballer. Guys, there's a massive 273 of you watching.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where we are likes. Please like and subscribe. Myself and Jarvis have slaved today. We've been busy all day, and not a lot to talk about really. Well, it's going to get everybody happy. Let's put it that way. But we've still got loads to. We've still got a bit to talk about.
It's been a slow news day. You know, there's not much to talk about, but there's always something to talk about when it comes to Man United. And the good thing is, I get to talk to you guys, and Stu.
That's the important thing. That's the important
thing. And Magnifico 88 coming in and say we can't celebrate this sell-ons. We should have got real fees. Ten Hag to blame for trying to end us. Okay, you're not happy with Ten Hag, but I just want to clarify. Ten Hag was the manager, not running the business, and the business part was still Joe Glazer, Murtog Arnold, and that negotiator Josh Hargreaves, or what's his name, is still at the club.
Matt Hargreaves and Matt Judge, they were the the pathetic bits.
I wouldn't put all the blame on Ten Hag when it comes to this, but you know, we should have used this veto on Alvaro Fernández and Maxi Oyedele.
Ten Hag doesn't set the figures. The club does. Cass is in the house. Cass, good to see you. Jarvis and Stu, can you do a recap? Has Garnacho made it with Amorim? I've just come in. Reports are suggesting that he has, but a good friend of Jarvis's and the show, Yolam Almin, is suggesting it's fake news, which I would lean towards. I think it's probably not.
Yeah, the news is this one. Justin Alejandro Garnacho has been cleared to join Man United's teammates at Carrington, so he's allowed to come back to start his preseason training. I don't know how to interpret that message. We can talk 2 seconds about it. Stu, what's your thoughts? Do you think it's opening up for Garnacho to be a part of
It's posturing.
Amorim squad next season, or is it
posturing? It's posturing. I think you were right. I think you were right at the beginning of the show. I think it's if you are Napoli's president. Let's go back to him. I know I've mentioned him a lot today. You are waiting, and you are going to lowball Manchester United based on the fact that he doesn't want to play for Manchester United anymore. Manchester United don't want to play for you anymore. So you're not going to go in with 70 million euros. Why would you? Because you go in and say, well, hold on, you don't want him. He doesn't want to stay here. Let's just do a deal and get him gone. That's what you would do. So I think it purely and simply is posturing. For him, Garnacho, he's got to show his fitness. He's got to prove his fitness. He's got to let Napoli know that he, or any potential suitors, that his head's back in the game and he wants to play football. And Catherine McDade, by the way, as no nonsense, McDade, I said it right in the head. And Vicky mentioned that to me the other night, by the way.
Okay.
I was on to Vicky, and she said, Ronaldo has got into Garnacho's head, and she feels that Garnacho's trying to be Ronaldo, and it just isn't working. When it took Ronaldo a long time, didn't it, to get any kind of stature in the game? Garnacho's got no chance at the moment. So, no, for me, it's posturing, and it's all about money.
Unpopular opinion when it comes to Garnacho, I just want to say my personal opinion. I think he will be, in 5 years' time, one of the better wingers in the world. I think he will score a lot of goals because I think he knows he has an X factor, and I think he knows how to get to chances.
Well, you've been you've said this a long time, Jarvis. Yep. It's not an unpopular opinion. You've been talking about this for a while. You stuck your flag to this particular mast a good while ago.
I did.
You have.
I did.
There's no backtracking here on this channel.
No, I'm not backtracking. But my thoughts on Garnacho is I still think that he will come good, and not only good, not only Premier League. I think he will be one of the best in Europe in his position in maybe 5 years' time. And when it comes to this, because I think he has the right mentality when it comes to playing the big games. He has an X factor. He's never afraid. I don't think he's afraid.
I would say
I don't think he's nervous before he goes on the pitch.
No, I would say
he
this
doesn't care if there's 100,000, 10,000, 1,000. He's just going out there to do his best, and I think that's a no surrender, no nonsense attitude. And I think a lot of our players have the wrong mentality. So we have a lot to learn from this young kid. To take the game by the scruff of its neck. A lot of players go on the pitch afraid to doing. They go on the pitch and say, "I'm not going to misplace one pass today," and it ends up playing it sideways and backwards all the time, never doing anything with the ball. And that's not the game. That's not the part of the game. Why you want to play the game? You want to create. You want to score goals, and try to win it.
Jarvis, that's where I'm going wrong. My last couple of games, I've been trying to give it the big one. I'm going to go back to knocking it short. And this is true, by the way. I'm not actually joking. I'm not joking. I've been trying to give it the big one. I'm trying to develop my game. I'm a bit old to do that. And I've been, rolling with the ball a little bit more, coming out of position a little bit more. But my game is defending. My natural position, Jarvis, is to defend. Come to me. I'm going to headbutt you, head the ball, whatever. That's my natural position. I've been trying to develop my game. And maybe I need to go back to it. No, what I was saying before is you've been hugely consistent on your evaluation of Garnacho. Hugely consistent. You've never wavered from that. And that's what I'm saying. There's no backtracking on devilish tacticos. We will, I'm talking about Jamie Vardy earlier on. And I know it's completely not what we want and not what the fans want and not what anybody wants, but there's a slight business case for it. And you're talking about a business case for Garnacho. So is Cass. So I can't find Cass's comment now, but Cass is making a comment about squad depth and about not that particular one. He's also he's talking about sticking with Garnacho, either play him or sell him. Cass is in that, but play him or sell him. And I think maybe we're in there with whether you play him or sell him. But again, I fully agree with what the Devilish Tacticos are saying.
This is one,
yeah, this is it. He's saying or sell him at least 55. So it's play him or sell him. So, and I do agree with that, and I'm sure the Devilish Tacticos do. What we're pissed off with attitude. We're fed up with attitude of Garnacho, Sancho, Rashford. We don't put Malacia in that.
But shouldn't Amorim be able to what do you call it, to tame a young guy as Garnacho and get his focus mindset in the right place?
You can't do it anymore, mate. And I agree with you, by the way.
He's 20. Yeah. How difficult could it be to find the right triggers when it comes to 20-year-old? He's 42 years old, for Christ's sake.
He goes home and he cries to his agent. He'll go home. He's like, "Oh, Ruben told me off today in front of everybody." Right. And he's like, the agent's like his old man treating a 6-year-old going to school and finding out who's bullying his son. That's where players are today. Sancho he clearly has never given a fuck about Manchester United, Jarvis. Clearly has never cared, has he?
No.
Rashford has done. And then all of a sudden, he's got into this mindset of whatever, P. Diddy mindset, and he can't be bothered. Garnacho, I think, has had his head turned by Ronaldo, and issues. And I think Catherine's right on that. I really do. Vicky was right on that. I really do. So you've got to push those. We're not talking about Malacia and Anthony in this vein, are we? We're just talking about them three. Anthony, real shame, but let's face it, you and I and everyone else would like him to go to Real Betis, redo his career, wouldn't we? Go and redo Malacia, go back to PSV or go somewhere, and you had a real tough time in England. Start afresh. That's the best thing to do, and that's what we want. But Rashford, Garnacho, and Sancho, we all have got this fucking anger directed towards them. So sometimes you got to take that anger, you got to forget it, and see what's best, what makes the best business case. Can you imagine being in Chelsea's front six right now? If you're Liam Delap, how the hell would you feel?
Well, I wouldn't be nervous. I would just go out there and do my best every practice, every training, every game, every small opportunity, and just give 110%.
So that's what these guys have got to do. So if Rashford is brought back in, Garnacho is brought back in, Sancho, God forbid, is brought back in, that's what you got to do. So I'm just a bit fed up with that section of it, Jarvis. In terms of those particular players, I've had enough of them. We don't want them. But the Devilish Tacticos are on point tonight.
As always.
Yeah, no, but they really are on point tonight about the way that we are and the struggles that we're having. So, and Catherine's again right.
Yes, read out her comment.
Again, Garner's attitude is awful, lads. She's absolutely right. There's a lot going on about Kudus in the chat. Didn't he go to Tottenham? I did. So Rob Taft's in the house.
Big up, Rob.
I think Garnacho must have been given another chance by Amorim. Out of all of them, I'll keep Garnacho. Again, Rob Taft's looking at the bigger picture. I totally agree with you. Cass, good to see you, buddy. Stu, why can't the club make a policy as part of players' contracts? They can't make. Yeah, I wholeheartedly are on that platform with you on that one, Cass, because I think attitude needs to be written into a contract. It's in everyday work, in everyday life. Jarvis, you know this, pal, because I'm sure you've had to do it in your career as a business owner. You've had gross misconduct issues. You've had
there is. I saw the Swedish Rumble did you read his tweet today? He talked
No,
about this.
sorry, I'm no chance.
There's a clause that the player can't go out against the club, and they can't have relations to people going out to the club, against the club publicly, without the club accepting it or telling them to. That's a set what do you call it, clause in every professional footballer's contract.
Yeah, but I would go further with
and
it.
And even showed the text.
Yeah, but I would go further though, Jarvis, because it clearly doesn't work, does it? It certainly doesn't work for ours. It doesn't work for Garnacho, and it doesn't work for Sancho, does it?
No,
you know,
but
it's
not the contract's fault. It's the club's.
Yeah, it needs to be beefed up. It needs to be beefed up. The language needs to be a bit stronger and stuff of that nature. So look, I totally agree. With Cass, and I think it needs firming up. I've always thought that though, Jarvis, to be fair.
Let me just add it to the stage. This is what Swedish Rumble said, and he's always accurate when it comes to this. He said, media and public relation clause. This is in every professional player's contract. He said the player shall not directly or indirectly, without the prior written consent of the club, make any public statement or give any interview to the media or any third party in relations to the affairs of the club, its directors, officers, employees, players, supporters, or business.
But it doesn't work like that, and I know it doesn't work like that, because a lot of in fact, all the MotoGP World Superbike riders have similar clauses in their contract, but you can still gain access to the players. You can still get an unfiltered interview, and it can be done, but you cannot, and it's impossible to filter. And we've seen this, haven't we? Instagram and Twitter or X. It's impossible to filter that, but you can get to these places. Look at Rasmus Højlund and the United Stand. Now, that was not an unfiltered interview. That was a very filtered one, that the questions were put directly to the media staff, and the media and the PR have come back and said, you can ask this, 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 and this. You can't ask this, 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 and this. That's an unfiltered one. But that's because United Stand at that particular time were desperate for access to the club. But there's nothing stopping me and you, Jarvis, reaching out to a player and a player reaching back out to us, and you could get an unfiltered 2 minutes with him, and he doesn't even know he's done it.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. So they're not. I hate to say it, guys.
Yeah, but if you have, but for me, Stu, if you have a contract,
it's not worth the paper
contract, and this is in the contract, it's up to the club to tell the players you are breaching your contract by doing this.
Yeah, they don't do it.
You get one warning, and next time you get a fine or whatever.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Paul Pogba, for example, would have been hauled through the coals, or should have been hauled through the coals on more than one occasion?
Not only
more than one occasion.
Not only.
I'm using him as an example, but he shouldn't. So it just doesn't happen. It needs to be hit home a lot harder than what it is, because they're getting away with it.
Mm-hmm. Big up Boxing Straight Talk 2.0 coming in and say, hit the likes, guys. Jarvis and Stu deserves a like. Come on. Yes, please give us a like. Like spike. How many likes are we on now, moderators and the Devilish Tacticals, before I give you the next subject? Quite interesting debate today with Stu. I like what we're talking about. There's many things to mention, but there's one big thing. And this just came out. Stu, look at this. I don't know if you've seen it. Hansi Flick comes in and has given the green light on Barcelona's move to sign Marcus Rashford. The transfer is still very much open, and it could progress in the coming weeks. Marcus Rashford has given his priority to Barcelona. It's from Matteo Moretto.
Jarvis, that's bullshit, because we know why this has come about, because we know Nico Williams signed a 9-year contract at Bilbao, and we know that Liverpool have rebuffed every approach for Luis Diaz, and more centered around unfortunately what happened to Diogo Dalot. For me, seriously, guys, Hansi Flick says to the board, yes, go get him. How difficult a deal would that be to get Rashford out of Manchester United? Seriously.
I don't think it's difficult with Man United. It's with Rashford and his salary.
It could be done like that. His dream move, Jarvis, is Barcelona. That's his dream move. He's come out publicly and stated, by the way, that's another one. That's another reason. I doubt the club cleared that. So he's come out and publicly stated, I want to go to Barcelona. Barcelona come up, we say, we're going to offer you 150 grand a week. Your dream club, you're going to go, yeah, fine. That can be done in 48 hours, that deal. 48 hours. It's an easy deal. A piss easy. In fact, they could probably do that deal quicker than Chelsea going in on Saturday morning, getting rebuffed for João Pedro, and then 6 hours later, here we go from Fabrizio. That deal could be done like that because it takes one call from Manchester United to Rashford. Barcelona are in for you. What do you want to do? Get the deal done. That's all he's going to say. Get that deal done. I'm on the plane. Can I go tonight, please? Easy deal. That's why it's bullshit. Read between the lines on that. Oh, in the coming weeks, we'll put a bid in. Piss off. Piss off.
How many years does Rashford? How many? 2000 to 2027? Is that 2 more seasons?
Yeah, I think he's got 2 left.
Yeah, and he's on 350 a week apparently. So how low can he go? Taxes, he will save about 20, 25 points.
Yeah,
I think the tax is 20% in Spain. So
if you desperately want to go to Barcelona, you'll take 150 grand a week. He doesn't need the money. He doesn't need the money. 150 grand. And this is where I think, because we're mere mortals, we kind of, and I know I do, well, I was earning 350, I'm still 100. It's not going to, do anything to his quality of living, is it? It's quality of life. Taking 150. He'll probably end up at 2, probably do a deal at 200 grand with Barcelona. But my point being, anyway, if you read the text that they're saying, it could, watch the coming weeks, that's bollocks. If they wanted him, if Hansi Flick's given the green light, Barcelona know it's an easy deal to do. Everybody knows that's an easy deal to do. It's not difficult, that deal. It just isn't. You put yourself in Rashford's shoes, and I'm Barada, and I'm phoning you up, and you've publicly come out and said, "Oh, by the way, Rashford, Barcelona are in for you. What do you want to do?" What are you going to say? Get it done.
Get it done. Yeah.
When am I due in Barcelona? Would be my question.
But Stu, when you think of it, if the tax, maybe I'm wrong, but if the tax in Spain is about 20% income tax, and in UK it's about 45, so you save about 25%. So if you earn 350 a week, you get paid about 200 after tax.
Yeah.
If you go to Spain on 200k a week, we will get paid 160 after tax.
Yeah.
So we are talking about 40k a week.
Amazing. It's nothing. It's nothing to him. It won't affect his quality.
If he drops down to 200.
Yeah. And if he's going to worry about 40 grand a week, he's not interested in playing for Barcelona.
Yeah. That's
he's
the
got
thing.
one chance to go to Barcelona. I want to go to Barcelona. You got one chance. Get it done. If that really is true, that article, get it done.
Yeah.
It'd be brilliant.
If Hansi Flick wants him, 100%.
But again, Magnifico is saying this is a really good point. They probably can't register him. And I think he's right. I think Magnifico's right. I doubt they can register him.
You know why Nico Williams didn't sign with Barcelona? Because they couldn't guarantee him, because he wanted in his contract guarantees to be registered
and playing time, wasn't it? Yeah, I did read that. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Yeah, I'm sorry, we should have brought that up actually. Yeah,
it's actually a good
and
point.
E6. Is this a new name? E6. Forgive me, but I think you're a new name, so welcome.
He's expecting.
You're absolutely right. Yes, that's. I agree with you. So it's one of those. Cass is coming about social media, Jarvis. Social media United's media policy is ambiguous with nuances, can be deemed negligible. Get me words out in a minute. A new strict policy specifically for players' social media comments should be introduced into their contracts. I totally agree. I think, we were talking about, it goes back to what we were saying, Jarvis, doesn't it? It needs bigger and better and stronger language just to pad that out. And I think Cass is it the nail right on the head there.
Always big up Cass.
You can
and by the way, the thumbnail of Cass, I think it's my favorite player all time. I think it's Maradona.
He looks like Diego.
See that Argentinian shirt?
Yes, it looks like Diego. He looks like your top player there.
Big up Cass.
I'll let you answer this one, Jamie. Wayne, good to see you, Jamie. We keep getting so many comments in. Every time I try and click on Jamie's, it keeps getting moved. Where are we? Jamie would like to know what is going on with our club. This is disgraceful. I'll let you answer that one, pal.
What's going on at our club?
Yeah.
We know we are a circus. We are the biggest circus in town. Everybody comes to watch Man United, and that's the thing. But we never seem to perform when it matters, and we have stopped winning titles. Or at least the big important titles, and we don't want to compete. We are happy with just filling Old Trafford and getting the sponsor deals in. That's the biggest problem. And New York Stock Exchange, obviously, I think that's the main reason why we are struggling. Everything goes slowly because of the New York Stock Exchange, and why every time something happens, you have to pick up the phone and call the one and only Joe Glazer. Yes, I'm in Miami. Okay, I will settle a board meeting. Just give me 2 weeks, and we will sort every detail. And just give us a little bit time, and then all the transfers are gone.
Yeah. So, by the way, I've just noticed the Kudus deal. In Tottenham's history, barring Harry Kane, they've never signed a player to a 6-year contract, have they?
Spurs.
Only Harry Kane. They've only ever signed Harry Kane to a 6-year contract. Do you remember?
Do you know who runs Spurs?
Daniel Levy.
Yes.
6-year contract. This is interesting for Tottenham, that 6 years. So I don't know what the contract will be for Gibbs White. Keep an eye on that, because are people starting to slowly but surely follow Chelsea? Are 5-year contracts a thing of the past? Is it 6, 7, and 8?
You should never give a player more than a 5-year contract.
5-year contract.
It's nonsense.
I would actually do it 3+2. 3 years,
yeah.
And if you hit these performance bonuses, we'll activate the further 2. I'd never do you should never do a 5-year contract. 6-year contract. Look at Madrid, 9-year or 8-year contract he signed, and he's not buttons. He don't give a damn, does he? He's just going to sit there and take the money. Get hilarious clowns.
Yeah, I agree, Neil. This would never happen under Qatar ownership, but unfortunately, I think that ship has sailed. But there will be new bidders when we get the new stadium up, and the Glazers could have about the $10 billion they want.
That's their out, isn't it? 10 billion. Yeah. We as soon as it gets to 10 billion, that's it.
If you know a billionaire, call him up and tell him to buy Man United for 10 billion.
Yes,
we are up for sale for the right price.
For the right price, and that's it. You're up for sale for the right price. Shocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Leeches.
Boxing comes in and say a 4-year contract with a 2-year option at the end.
Yeah, 4+2. Yeah, I got no issue with that. 3+2, 4+2. Yeah, I got no problem with that.
And we have a question. Maybe you can answer this too. Tom Porter. Are you a porter?
Tom, are you a porter? It's a very honest work. I'm titanium, and that's very honest work, that is. Guys, there's 223 watching. We've only got 40 likes. Come on, Jarvis. What's going on?
Oh, apparently they don't like us.
They don't like you. Well, I think you're right. I think we've proven we're not liked tonight. Must be our controversial views tonight.
Yeah. Very controversial views. Stu,
Yes.
it's time for us to get into the favorite segment of all of you.
Oh, the
It's
greatest
time
segment of all time.
for the Daily Jackson. Yes, and welcome to the Daily Jackson. Tonight I'm going to tell you the latest about Nicholas Jackson, and this is the latest news. It's from reliable sources. It's from Chelsea Dodgers. It says with a big exclamation point: "Be attentive to Nicholas Jackson at Chelsea. I'm hearing he could leave this summer. It's getting concrete and serious interest from several clubs, including Premier League ones. And there's no other than Fabrizio Romano who's quoting this. So, yes.
The GOAT.
Do you think we have a chance? Do we have a chance on the mighty, legendary Nicholas Jackson?
Well, I think we got a chance because apparently he flew back from Miami, or whether they're based in America, and he was seen outside of Carrington this morning with a big billboard truck, and it showed all of his goals. It was a 3-second reel, and it's on continuous loop, ready for when Amorim comes out and he sees the Jackson smile. You want me is his tagline. You want me. Nicholas Jackson.
Did you see the semi-final in the Club World Cup when he was a little bit greedy? But, as a striker of his stature, you should take the shot, not give it to Cole Palmer on the blank open net.
Yeah, Cole Palmer went mad. Apparently, all the HR managers of this world went absolutely nuts. You can't do that to Nicholas Jackson. His confidence is down. You can't berate him publicly like that. I think Cole Palmer was correct, but actually, a man of Jackson's stature should have buried it. Absolutely buried it. But I can see it. I can see it. I can see him on the piano. This is my dream. I've supported United ever since I was 3, and all that kind of jazz. So. What a brilliant
Titanium. Sorry. Don't you like the Daily Jackson updates?
He loves the Daily Jackson, but probably it's getting late. It's 10:30. Oh, okay. We've been going.
It's just laughs, all respect for Nicholas Jackson as a professional footballer and all of that. It's just a segment we try to do to cheer you guys up, because all of this Man United news are just dreadful at the moment. There's nothing.
He's achieved more than us, hasn't he? He's achieved more than us. So.
Yeah. And the Jackson 5 ain't seeing nothing from Tom. Yes. Catherine Nonon says he's
world class. He is world class.
Stu, I've been thinking of this. We have to sign one striker at least in the summer transfer window. Could we actually end up signing Nicholas Jackson for real?
No, we won't. We won't get him. Look, by all accounts, Maresca has come out and said he's a superb professional, and ultimately he didn't want him to go. But I think it'd be hilarious if we actually do sign it. Hey, guys,
I
was about to say that you heard it here first. Or we should have done it this way. You heard it here first, because that's the pose, isn't it? That's the pose. Or is it that one? No, is that one or that one? I can't remember. Anyway, that's the pose. So,
Danny B says we will loan him. Yes.
Yes.
Quite intriguing.
Well,
Nicholas Jackson.
I wonder whether, we will actually, have to loan a striker. I don't know. I don't know.
Which initiative?
Shall we stop it now?
Sorry, pal. I'm just joking.
Jamie's right, by the way. PSG are the best team in Europe right now. Absolutely. Good luck, Chelsea. They're going to get absolutely smashed. Chelsea are.
There's some updates on Victor Osimhen. I don't know. The deal is ongoing with Galatasaray, blah blah blah, Napoli, blah blah blah. So I think that ship has sailed. No Osimhen, no Victor Gyökeres, no Delap.
Well,
Mateta.
I mean, where's Yoker? Well, could we go in for Mateta right to death? But if we do Jarvis, we'll end up overpaying for him.
Mm-hmm.
This is the danger we're in right now, isn't it? We are at this point. We are going to over. Injury prone for me, Joe. I like Vlahovic 3-4 seasons ago, absolutely, but a bit injury prone for me, Joe. But you're right.
But we haven't done the FB ref and checked on Vlahovic.
No.
Should we? Would it be any
Have a look.
interest of any of you?
Joe's right. Only minor injuries. No, true. Yeah, there's nothing major in there, pal. But he is. We need him on the pitch. Is where we need him, Joe. We need him on the pitch, pal.
Let's compare Dusan Vlahovic's heat map with Højlund, for example, and just have a look. Or we can first do his FB refs and see if there's anything positive here. He had a great season for Fiorentina. It's not too like 3 years ago. So he was one of the strikers in Europe. Am I?
Yeah.
Am I here?
I mean, what
breaking
is he
up?
now? No, you're okay now, pal. You were.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, his age is 25 years, 163 days, Serbian, born in January. This is the biggest problem, his wages. He's on 373.8.
I thought he was older than 25.
Euros.
He seems to be around for ages, doesn't he?
No,
I thought he was older than that. Wow. That shocked me.
6'3".
Powerful.
Yeah.
He's on massive salary. How the hell's he pulled that off at Juve? Did he go on a free from Fiorentina then? He must have.
No. He scored a hell of a lot of goals for Fiorentina.
No.
That's why he was rated as one of the...
Oh, no, he was. Yeah. What's his goal scoring then? What's he popped away this season?
Okay, this season, it's not looking good. Let's see. Non-penalty goals, 47 percentile, so it's not even top 50 percentile in Europe. Makes a lot of shots. He's in the 89 percentile, but then his goals to shots is not good. Let's see who else touches in attacking penalty. So he gets a lot of chances, but not scoring a lot of goals. Tells me get a lot of service, but not a lot of end product when it comes to this player. And defensively, it doesn't offer anything besides maybe aerials. 47 percentile. So it doesn't. Nothing intrigues me with this player.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
And
what's his heat map like? Let's have a look at his heat map.
Let's look at his heat map. So I'm just gonna find Serie A.
Jamie, that is the question: is why they are going to terminate his contract. They have offered him a termination or are going to do. Oh, fucking hell! I mean, it's bad. It's bad on both, really, isn't it? But look at Højlund's heat map. How bad that is. Højlund's heat map.
Vlahovic is a little bit better in the inside 18-yard box.
He's an 18-yard box player. Yeah, get a guarantee. Well, I'd say a little bit. He's more than a little bit. He's miles better.
And you also see this reds here, and here. So he actually drops down in all areas, not like Højlund, who prefers this area here.
Yeah.
So maybe he would be like more suited to play in an Amorim system, but it doesn't give me a lot of confidence, this heat map either. So
no, it doesn't. Rob Tuff says he sounds like Nicholas Jackson. Story comes in and says he's been terrible this season. from what I've seen. Rasmus better. That's interesting. Butonator, not enough green. I like that. Joe says he's good in the air. And and John Edmund, good to see you, John. Said what is new? I think money is probably a big part of why Juventus want him gone. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Juventus is finding himself almost in the same situation as Man United, a big club, or used to be a big club.
Yeah.
Now they struggle because they try to buy themselves out of the problems. Let's not take on Vlahovic. I think it's I smell trouble.
Yes. Yeah. No, I totally agree. 315 more. Yeah, we've done an hour and 15. We're probably going to do an hour and a half tonight, aren't we, Jarvis? So
yeah, we can do. I don't have many. There's no news left. I want to go through it. We have the Garnacho, Oyedele, Alvaro Fernández, Osimhen, shirt numbers, and Rashford. Yeah, that's basically There's one update on Victor Gyökeres, but it doesn't involve Man United. But it's worth mentioning. Victor Gyökeres still remains ongoing with the two clubs, maintaining their position on a transfer fee. But no chance for Gyökeres to show up for training. He's already informed Sporting about that. Only Arsenal. So, yeah.
That is hugely... I mean, it's just going to end in tears, that, isn't it? Yeah. It really is going to end in tears. I mean, this Sporting president's, fair play to him. Enough's enough, isn't it? We want 70 mil. The end. And he's not going to play for... I don't think he only wants Arsenal. I think if Arsenal wanted Gyökeres, they'd have dealt with it. They'd have done it. They balked at Sesko, didn't they?
Yeah.
They balked at Sesko, and now they're balking at Gyökeres. So what's honestly, it's just: do you want the player? Yes or no?
But we know. I think it's Arteta. I don't think he likes strikers.
I don't think Arteta particularly wants him. No, Arteta wanted Sesko for a reason. He wanted Sesko because he can play across the front three. And Gyökeres is a 9. We know that. We've been through that. So he wanted, and it's the same with João Pedro at Brighton. Chelsea wanted him because he can play across the, the front three. It's not going to displace Palmer, is he? But he is going to play ultimately through the middle, but a revolving player. So no. But
there's some comments. Yeah,
I was going to say though, and Classico's correct here that they really want to get Eze, don't they? Arsenal. So is Arsenal priority over Gyökeres? And then do you then put Martinelli through the middle to switch with Havertz? It's really interesting what Arsenal are looking at doing. So interesting. Joe, Arsenal did put in for Vlahovic last year. Yeah, absolutely. But Juventus didn't want to go. And we're not, by the way, buddy, we're not saying that he's a bad player or anything like that. I don't know.
I don't think it's the right move. Just not because purely on his footballing abilities, but I think it's the wrong reasons. I think we shouldn't just sign him because he's cheap or almost free, and that he used to be a big name. I think we need to sign players on abilities and how good they are right now.
If he comes on a free and he's earning 370,000 euros, he's going to want something similar at Man United. If he comes on a free.
Jalal Malmin also wants Vlahovic. You say Vlahovic on a free and get him on 150k a week. It's a no-brainer.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. It depends. I wouldn't say that I don't want Vlahovic in, if we can get him on the free and, a sensible wage.
It's a deal you got to do straight away, though, isn't it, Jarvis, really? Because he ain't going to hang around Vlahovic.
And, he's only 25, he's still young, there's a resale value, and, if he doesn't...
I don't know why. I thought he was older. I thought he was close to 30. I have no idea why. I'd have taken him 2-3 years.
He came in I think it was 19 when he came in, scoring a lot of goals for Fiorentina.
We forget about that, don't we?
Yeah.
We do. Yeah. Boxing Straight Talk says, do you think he could go to Juve? I don't think Jokeris. I don't think Juve can fork out 70, 80 million euros.
Could we do a swap deal, loan, Vlahovic?
Sporting.
No, with Højlund, I'm thinking.
Could we do a swap with?
Juve.
Well, possibly, but again, all reports are suggesting he wants to stay, aren't they? So,
yeah.
45
45 likes according to the Bootinator. Big up, legend, the Bootinator. Thank you. But guys, come on,
please,
do us a big one, big favor. Smash the like. We are slaving in the kitchen.
We are
trying to reach 100 like every show, but now tonight we're really struggling. So it's a slow news night, and we're just sitting here trying to make a show for you. So please do us the honor and give us a like. That's
yes, please. At least get us over 50. That would be absolutely brilliant.
Let's do a Q&A, Stu.
Let's do 15 minutes worth of Q&A or 10 minutes worth of Q&A.
Get your questions in, guys, and we will have a chat.
Yeah. You can ask some fun ones if you want tonight. Let's see what we've got. I did want to, Thomas, I know you're probably not watching tonight, but I do want to
No, Thomas, he was in the chat.
He did. Thomas, if you're still in the chat, I do want to address your questions from, what day are we now? Monday.
Monday. Yeah. Well, ask questions about music, movies.
Whatever you want.
Pop cultural, whatever, social media. I don't care. Yeah.
This is a twofold question, this then. So we're going to finish at 11 o'clock tonight, and we're going to be quite strict on that, guys. Are you going to do the Q&A, or should we just get straight into it?
Let's play it.
Yeah, go on. An hour and 20 minutes has flown by, old friends. Everyone in the Devilish Tacticos, absolutely superb as always. 309 watching. If you can get us over 50 likes at least, that will make me and Jarvis happy. Thomas sent us a couple of questions on Monday, and we ran out of time Monday. And I did say that when we do a next show, we would raise them. So it's a bit of a two-parter, this one, and I'm going to give it to you, Jarvis. Why doesn't the fan base do something to get the owners out? We have United in the name, but we are far from it. So why do fans accept this shit treatment from the owners? Wake up, fans. This is absolutely rubbish. I think what he's saying is we have the power to change this. Now, Jarvis can point to his green and gold shirt, Thomas. And there was a green and gold campaign a while ago to get the Glazers out, and we have this year in particular done at least 2 or 3, I think, protests on match days. So we are trying. People are trying. We want it peaceful because it's important that it is whatever we do, we peacefully protest. But you're right. Thomas, we've got to do maybe more, but it's what we do, isn't it, Jarvis, and how we do it, which is really.
Well, I think something changed after Ferguson left, because I think it was us against the world when Ferguson was the manager. The siege mentality, us as Man United, we could stand with our chest high. And say to everyone, we were mighty Man United, and we're going to Wembley, and all of this. We could sing. But after the Glazers came in, and especially when things started going bad, and we didn't have no direction that Ferguson gave us, and not only him but also Gil, who was the CEO. But after that, I think when we got a guy like Woodward in, everything started to be about money.
Yeah.
And he also saw the PR value in the divide and conquer culture when it comes to Man United. So I think before Ferguson, when Ferguson was at the wheel and David Gill was at the wheel, I think United went out and debunked a lot of these silly rumors and stupid journalists asking stupid questions were thrown out of the press conferences by Ferguson and the club. We didn't allow nonsense at that time, but we had the guy when the Glazers and especially Woodward started. I think that they figured out that we can actually make money because all PR is good PR, and I think that's when it all started. And you have social media, the rise of social media, and all of that on top of it. And I think we are stuck right now in a culture where we can't decide whether we love United or we love to hate Man United, and
Yeah.
it's starting to be one of the same coin. So for me, I think that's the one of the reasons why we can't everybody unite around this club and get these effing owners out. I don't know, Stu.
I totally agree. Look, the sooner the better. They're gone. They've been an absolute, and I don't use the word cancer lightly, but they've been an absolute cancer to our club. And there are some absolutely amazing supporters, fans who, and I'm talking loyal supporters, who spent a lot of money going week in, week out, and have just been priced out, kicked out. Nobody really has the love or the value for the club as much as they had done before the Glazers came. So we need to do something, and I'm sure you'll see more and more protests throughout the year.
But Stu, I want to know a little bit more before we go to the next question when it comes to this, because I think it's a very important subject to cover. And to be clear, from the tactical devils, Stu and Jarvis, we are 100% fully against the Glazers ownership. We want yes.
Yeah.
And but what's the solution? I want to know, do you have any solution? Because we can sit here and piss and moan about everything gone wrong with this club, but what's the solution? How can we actually fix this? How can we unite the fan base into one and start putting pressure on these owners to get him out?
Do you actually know what the real solution is? Do you know what the real solution is? It's to get back behind the club. Start supporting the club like we used to. Start going, start buying merchandise, start getting the value of the club back. I'm not talking about trophies. I'm talking about starting to put the value of the club back, get more and more sponsors invested in Manchester United and raise the price. Because what you said an hour ago now, Jarvis, about the Glazers' magic number is absolutely true. And there's only one way you're going to get that magic number is by enhancing the value of the business. And I'm sorry, it's horrible, guys. It's awful. It makes me feel sick to the stomach to say that. But the only way we're going to get those leeches gone is a 10 billion valuation. And the only way we're going to get that valuation is for us to start supporting the club like we used to, for the club to act better, and for the players to grow up and start winning football matches. It's horrible. But it's the only way.
It's the difficult ones too, because
then
you make the assumption that the Glazers actually will sell for £10 billion, because suddenly if they realize, we're starting to make money, maybe we will stick around for another 20 years.
I think
that's the backside of this.
I think once it reaches a certain value, Manchester United won't rise above that value. Whatever that value is, it won't rise. Whatever that number is, if it's 10 bill, Manchester United will never exceed 10 billion in valuation. That is way top. I think they should get out of Dodge at 7. To be honest, I really do. I think 10 billion is going to be very, very difficult, but it's one of those. Won't work. That just won't work. unfortunately, Jorge, I wish it would, but it won't work. And the reason it won't work is because somebody put in the comments last week about somebody from China coming and spending £600 or £1,000 on a ticket, and that was, a whole family, £1,000 each. So spent £4,000 coming across, and they'll do it. Manchester United, though, they can do it. So there is no real straightforward answer, I'm afraid, but difficult. We've got a couple of questions in, so let's rattle through these. Jarvis, are you ever going to perform at Old Trafford? I saw from I Am Titanium. I think he's gone now, but
he's talking about Rick Astley.
Yeah.
Never gonna give you up.
I think he's talking about Jarvis Cocker himself. He's back playing under Pulp.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And by the way, I love Pulp and the common people, as we are.
As we are. Yeah, we are. We're just ordinary people. Yeah, absolutely. John, we were asked this on the last show, and the truth is we've got zero idea. We couldn't answer it then, and we sure can't answer it now. We don't know. I think we're going to boom a win, and that's probably it. I think we'll get one more from my side
by the end of the transfer window. One more.
Yeah, that's what I think we'll get in. Just one.
So Cunha and Mbeumo and one more. So 3 players in.
No, and Mbeumo. That's it.
Ooh. I laughed when people said we could sign up to 7 to 10 players. I said it will never happen, but I still believe we can sign 4 to 5 players. I still think it's possible, counting free transfers and so.
Jamie Vardy, what's this place? No, I'm joking. I just think we'll definitely get Mbeumo, and then I think it'll be finger in the air. I really do.
Okay, I 4 players.
Okay, so I say one more in Mbeumo, and Jarvis says Mbeumo plus 2.
4 in total.
3.
4 in total.
4 in total. So it's Mbeumo plus 2. Okay.
Yeah.
John, that answers your question. It was a good question, and we were stumped on the Q&A the other night as well on that one. That did stump us. We did touch on this earlier. I said it more tongue-in-cheek. I think there's a very short answer to that. I don't think we've got the brains to go in and negotiate for Wissa and Mbeumo. I would think that would be amazing. And I think if Man United pulled that off, that would be the heist of the century. It really would. It would be an absolute heist. But no, I can't see that happening. Jarvis?
No. First of all, I don't think we have the money to sign both of them. And I think if we had the audacity to ask for both, I think Brentford would just say, okay, give us 200 then.
Yeah, I
silly like that. So no.
Yeah, I absolutely think. I think you're absolutely right. Great question, though. Great question, because that's thinking outside the box. Emmanuel, question: do you think Kono will play a big part next season if we don't sign a midfielder? For all intents and purposes, we think he's going on loan, don't we? That seems to be the talk.
We have talked about getting these young players, and I always said they need time. We got to be sensible. We got to remember they're young,
Yeah.
But when it comes to Kone, Sekou Kone, I think he's brilliant as a player. I think
fantastic player. He is.
He's one of those. I just want to see him. I just want to see him start for Man United. And
I thought he was going to Lausanne. Yeah.
But wouldn't you like just to see him start like 3 games in a row and see where it takes him?
I do. I think we
should
take him. I do. I think we should take him out on tour, and I think we should have a look. I think he's a fantastic player. I want to see Diego Leon get a chance as well. I don't want him to go out on loan. I don't want Kone to go out on loan, but I did hear, and Jarl has confirmed that he was going out to our sister club in Switzerland. I would like to see him. Shame, but I would
But
like
how?
to.
So tell me, how can you develop playing in Switzerland?
You
How do
can't.
we actually expect the player to
You,
come back and go into this Man United starting 11 playing in
you
Switzerland?
can't. You can't develop
That's bullshit.
in
Bullshit.
Switzerland. Yeah, you've got
You
you
need to
must
play in the top
develop.
5 league, championship, or play for Man United.
Honest, we start round 2 in the Carabao Cup this season.
Yeah.
Get him played. Get him played. Get Diego Leon played in those types of games. Stick Cheeto in those types of games. That's what I'd do. I agree with you.
Top
I
5
think
league, championship, or nothing. It's a
yes,
waste. We're just wasting the talent.
we are wasting the talents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I agree
yeah.
with you. Great question, Emmanuel. Thank you very much for that one. Catherine, no nonsense, McDade, straight in, no messing around. Do you think any top players would ever want to join us now, lads? I'm going to, and I can't believe I'm going to do this, really. I'm going to agree with John Terry, but I think John Terry was agreeing with me because I mentioned this a couple of months ago. Where are the top players now? Who are the top players? What are the players that absolutely excite you and get you off your seat anymore? Where's the Eden Hazards of this world, the Juan Matas of this world, the Gianfranco Zolas of this world, the Zidanes of this world, the Thierry Henrys, the Dennis Bergkamps of this world, the Cristiano Ronaldos of this world, the Lionel Messis anymore of this world? Where are they? They just don't seem to exist anymore. The real aura that you see in footballers today, they don't exist. And that's a lovely question. It's a great question, but who are the top players now, Jarvis? Who are they?
Yeah, I mean, it's because of the new Super League.
Yeah.
Every game is important. Long preseason, Club World Cup. So every top 5 club needs to have at least a 25 to 30 man top player squad. So you don't get the same exposure, and every place that good gets picked up at a young age. So a lot of the talents never get developed. And yeah, I don't know.
But you can't. If I said to you, top players in the 90s, you'd go Ronaldinho, you go Zidane,
Batistuta, Marco van Basten,
you just
Gullit.
2000s.
Yeah.
You just come up with a Rivaldo. You just come
Ronaldinho.
with an Henry.
Mm.
You just roll off your lips. They don't roll off your lips anymore. It's a real shame. But I love that question, Catherine. Keep them coming. Very quick answer to your question, Joe. 100%, mate. You're not wrong. Playing with men and not boys is the only way you develop. You take a punch, don't you, Jarvis? You realise you're not made of glass. You realise you actually can take it.
Sort of. I agree. Getting Sekou Koné or Leon out on loan, playing regular. Obviously it makes them a little bit better. But what do we do when they come back? Are they suddenly ready to play for Man United, or do we send them on another loan? What's the end game? That for me,
you've got to be ready.
Yeah,
go out on the loan and come back ready. Come back prepared.
we never seem to do that. Man United. How many? Okay, name in the last 5 years how many players who's been out on loan has come back and done well at Man United?
Do you know why?
Never.
Because
We had Alvaro Fernández out at was it Preston? Was Player of the Year.
Yeah.
We had James Garner going out. One of the best players for Nottingham Forest got them promoted from the Championship. A lot of good players had successful loans, but they never made it. I can mention
Ahmad's
one.
the only one, isn't it?
Ahmad is the only one, but that
one.
was the season after he went on loan at Sunderland, but because he was a lot of injured the first season. So I don't know.
Good question, Joe. But I mean, back in my day, Joe, and I'm old, by the way, you'd be playing reserve team football, and you're playing against men, grown men, kickers, hard men, and they taught you the way of the game. But I love that question, Joe. Thanks very much for that one. Johnny K, if we do get Mbeumo, I still think we will just. But if he's our last summer signing, where do you think United will realistically finish? And Mayor 24 asked exactly the same question. where will our club finish next season? John, as you well know, myself, Jarvis, and yourself were on a show, and Jarvis asked the question, how many points will we end up with? Jarvis said 55. I believe you might have said 58. And I said 66. But I'm banking on Mbeumo and Cunha. And I was banking on a striker, wasn't I, John?
Yeah.
But like Margaret Thatcher once said, this lady or man is not for turning. I will not budge from that. 66 points is where we'll finish with Cunha and Mbeumo. Jarvis is laughing his head off at me. Jarvis thinks I'm a clown at the best of times, but now he definitely thinks I'm
Are you mad? Are you mad?
I did base that on us getting a striker, didn't I, pal?
Well, you're already backtracking, so no. You said 66, and I will hold you to that.
That's where I'm going.
I said 55.
66, you said 55, and it might have been Cass, actually. Sorry, Johnny K. It might have been Cass. Cass said 58. It was Cass. So it was me, you, and Cass. Sorry, Johnny K. I'm staying at 66. I will not move. Bookmark this, Johnny
The
K.
only thing that counts for us is we have no Europe, so we have more rest in between games.
Correct.
We will probably be more stable than we were last season because of this.
Yeah.
And we don't need as many players. Maybe we just need 14 to 15 players to perform.
And we've got Amorim and a full pre-season.
Yeah.
John's hand.
Yeah, well, I don't trust the Man United preseason because it's a flying circus. That's the thing.
It's a flying circus, yeah.
It's all about traveling all around the world to
Great question, Johnny and Mayor. And our final question of the night, he did go to Rangers. He went to Rangers before Sunderland, I believe.
Yeah, he did go to Rangers, yeah.
Guys, that wraps up the Q&A and wraps up the show. So I will pass my old mate to his favourite position, and we will wrap up, I guess.
Wrap up, yes. 1 hour, 41 minutes, 42 minutes. It was a slow night with no news, nothing big. The Alvaro Fernández thing, we will get another 8 million. I think that's a good thing. And I think we probably have enough money to sign. There's no excuse now. We should have enough money to pay out Brentford and get Mbeumo in pre-season. Yeah, the deal.
All accounts, supposedly he's going on the tour of America, isn't he? That's right. Can we also bear in mind that in 6 days' time, everybody, the away kit gets launched. So we all know something's going to happen on that day as well. So who knows? Maybe we see Mbeumo and Wissa. There you go.
Carlos comes in.
Definitely 66 points, Jarvis. Definitely.
Wow. Well,
you're having none of it, are you, mate?
Okay, Stu, tell me this. Which place did Brentford come this season with Mbeumo?
They were 8th.
And Wissa.
Were they 8th?
8th, 9th, check.
Something like that. I'd have to check. I think they were 8th, weren't
they? Premier League table. So Brentford, they came
10th.
in
10th, Joe says.
With Mbeumo.
No problem. Although May is not too happy with us. Can we stop talking about Mbeumo? He's boring. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
I'm just making a point. And Cunha with Wolves, they came in 16th. So we're not picking from the top shelf. I'm not saying Cunha and Mbeumo is not the best players, but are they the ones who are going to?
Mr. B, sorry, we don't realize we don't know who Tiny Tina is, but you know what? We'll close just for you, Mr. B.
Mr. B.
Stu needs locking up, absolutely. 66 points. It's almost 2 seasons worth. Retro, you're absolutely right. But we can dream. We can dream.
We all can dream.
But a great show.
Really it's been a great show. It's been a great show. I'm just going to check one thing before we go. Give me 2 seconds to. You can say the goodbyes to the chat.
I'll say the goodbyes. Yeah. So we've had over 300 of you watching combined on X and Twitter and YouTube tonight. So once again, myself and Jarvis, hugely grateful for your support. Devilish Tacticos have been on absolute fire as usual tonight. Mr. B, we are wrapping up, so you can go and see Tiny Tina does Toronto, whatever Tiny Tina does Toronto is. I didn't Google that. And we will be back on Sunday evening.
Around 9.
Yeah, about 9 o'clock. And if anything, we've got a busy weekend, myself and Jarvis. But if anything does come up that we might need to do a 10-minute slot, we'll obviously do a 10-minute slot.
We will. But tomorrow I won't. Tomorrow is my birthday.
I don't. Happy birthday! He's 58. Believe it or not, is my old mate. 58, and he looks angelic. Happy birthday, old friend. It's equal of Debbie does status. Legendary. Oh dear.
I should have done a birthday stream, but.
Well, you've got things to do. We've all got things to do. Wish Jarvis a happy birthday, please, for everybody. And we'll sing you happy birthday on Sunday evening, old friend. He's not 58, no. He's not 50 yet, bless him. He's still in his 40s.
I'm in my 40s, yes. Late 40s now.
But still in your 40s.
Yes, I am. I just wanted to check, Stu, if there were anyone else going live now, and I can try to redirect to get a Devilish Tacticos raid. I love doing raids on other channels.
No, they're not going to get Mr. B, though, because he's watching Tiny Tina.
Okay, who's live? Cass is live, Lee Gunner, Flying Pig, Steffi, Mark N. Nice, he's not live yet, but let's do a Cass raid.
Yeah, raid Cass, because
say hello from the Devilish Tacticos, Tactical Devils, and Stu and Jarvis.
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
I just want to say thank you everybody for the birthday wishes. Mr. B, Catherine, Carlos, who else? Matty, big up Matty. Ahmad is free from 10 Haram.
Justin, Nicholas Jackson wishes you happy birthday. He's just texted me. And
thank you.
So does Tiny Tina. Tiny Tina wishes you happy birthday. But Debbie does Dallas. Debbie, she's not. She's asleep. Otherwise, she would have wished happy birthday as well.
Boxing Straight Talk, Carlos Broderick, Rob Taff, E6 Becton, Routinator Retro 77, and Catherine McDade coming in and say big up.
The legend.
And the goats. Yes, thank you everybody. 300 watching. Let's end it. Go over to Cass. Say hello from the Tactical Devils. Have a good night, everybody, and have a great weekend. We will see you on Sunday. So have a good night and bye. Take care.